Hi, everyone. It's me, Sailor Mini Moon, Sailor Small Moon, Little Moon, Reenie here. And today I talk about the Santa Claus skit, or Father Yule skit, that they did on WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Now, this skit was with Joe Hendry, along with some background songstresses, and Otis Droznik as Santa Claus, Father Yule, and Akira Tozawa as a elf. Now I know a lot of folks are going to say, "Oh, why would they do that?" Well, the truth is, Yule does have 12 days, and even though Father Yule only shows up from the 24th to 25th, the way that these were all filmed, there was no way they could have done it on that day. So Joe Hensley sings this song about the Miz, about his balls, about how he behaves, and and sliding him in the song. And keep in mind, the Miz does not, he doesn't like Joe Hensley because Joe Hensley emmed up, emmed up beating him up on Saturday Night's main show, along with R-Truth. And R-Truth was the Easter Bunny. Now, you would think to yourself, why is the Easter Bunny in this? I don't know. So, they're doing their song, and then the Miz comes out and he's pissed off over the song, and so they have the match. And yes, you can get weapons out of boxes that are wrapped up as gifts. Yes, the Yule tree does become a weapon because they do work it on each other. Um, what else happens? Well, and so they have the match, and weapons are worked on each other. The Yule tree becomes a weapon. They take things out of boxes, and that becomes a weapon, And Joe Hensley has most of the upper hand, but The Miz gets some of the upper hand in this as well. And it was a Miracle on 54th Street match, or a Wander on 54th Street match, so so the match can't be thrown out due to weapons being worked on each other, and it can't be thrown out due to anyone else helping. So Otis Droznik, ends up coming in and does the does the worm, I guess, on the on the Miz. And R-Truth, who's the Easter Bunny, ends up doing You Can't See Me, the Five Knuckle Shuffle strike onto the Miz, and Joe Hensley ends up beating him. And yes, the Miz does go through the Flam Jam board in this as well. And you're thinking, this is a Santa Claus skit? Yeah, because Otis Droznik was Father Yule, Santa Claus, in the beginning of this skit, where Joe Hensley was singing this song about the Miz, and even though the Miz starts going after, and even though his Santa Claus hat gets knocked off when the Miz seeks to go out, because the Miz strikes, the Easter Bunny, who's R-Truth, and he wants to strike him with the same staff, and it doesn't work, and his hat gets knocked off. He doesn't put it back on, though. So yes, that was a Santa Claus skit that WWE did. So no, WWE did not forget about doing it this year. They just did it on the 2th day of Yule, which in some slices of the world is also known as Boxing Day. So give this film a like, share and playlist it, and I'll see you later.